Okay, here's the other themed book that I made, and this is a cowboy or western theme. I had gotten a book at the library for $1, and this is what the cover looked like. This nice beige background and this coppery image. It's kind of embossed on there, and I just had to use it just like that. So that's what I did, and I added these little tags, and I put some copper eyelets in them, and I had these wooden corners for a very long time. They're very pale like this, so I rubbed them with brown ink and glued them on. And then I have this piece of like a rawhide type of cord, and it feels leathery. I don't know what it's made out of, so I glued that on. And to cover the raw edges of the book, since I didn't, got some glue stuck on there, since I didn't cover the cover with paper, I had to cover the raw edges, so I have this paper that kind of looks like leather. So that's what I used for the edges. Bound with the bind it all with the black 1-inch rings. And I had an old set of Stampin' Up! Paper with a western design. I've had it for a long time, so I decided to use that up in this. And some of the papers that I had were a little bit small for the size of the book, so you'll see I have different sizes of papers in there. And I will show you the stamps that I used, and they were all Stampin' Up! Stamps. This is an old set from Stampin' Up! Called Wanted. Perfect for this book. And this one was Bronkbuster. And of course these were available in their catalog at the same time as this western paper, and that was a long time ago, so they're not available anymore. And I had this border stamp from Stampin' Up! Kind of looks like a ticking design, and then I used this for a corner. I had taken some of my western papers and made library cards, or library pockets, with my Cricut, so I used a few of them in this book. Just put in this card that says Books Read List. I used my Cricut to make this arrow. It's on the Fontopia Cricut cartridge. And since the book is, the design is landscape instead of portrait, it gave me something different. Just a different, it's pretty much the same size of the books that I make, but it's just landscape instead of portrait. I attached this journaling spot here. This is from Recollections Documented. And unless I say otherwise, the papers are Stampin' Up! And then I had a sheet from, I believe it's also from Recollections, or maybe it's from a DCWV pad, but it had a bunch of cutouts like that. And since the colors matched the colors of the papers, I used a lot of them in this book. Here's another library pocket, and this is looks like a bread fastener tag that I cut from the Cricut, and it fits in this pocket. I also used a couple of books in this book, and this one was a children's storybook about Comanche children, Indian children. So this one says Comanche Horse Race. I decorated it with washi tape. And this little tag says Dance Like Nobody's Watching. There's a cowboy paper. Here's one of the smaller sheets from Stampin' Up! So I just rounded the corners and put a gingham tab on it. I made this with the Cricut, with the storybook cartridge. This tag was cut out and it says family. And then I made these tags. I think they were also made with Fontopia. I just love these tags. I'll have to make more of them. And I used brown baker's, is that what it is? Yeah, baker's twine. Here's from the documented paper stack. It says Live, Laugh, Love. And here's another book that I had used, and this was a book about trains, I think. So here's a train robber on a horse. And I stitched with zigzag stitch these scraps. I creased them with my Martha Stewart, what do you call it? You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, then I folded them and stitched them and put this spiral paper clip on it. I made this arrow with the Cricut, with the Fontopia. And this is from Documented. And so there's graph lines on it. So this can be used for journaling, or you can just put pictures on it. And it's got this tag that I cut out from that one sheet. This one says railroad lines on it, so it has an old looking map of railroad lines, and I took this page out of a gunfighter, or a Western book, and this was a chapter on gunfighters, and so this page says express and train robbers, so I put that next to this page. And then this page said the gunfighters, but I stamped this horse and the word wanted and that star there. This page, I made this pennant with a paisley design with my Cricut on the pretty pennants. And I also made this tag. I forgot which cartridge it is, but has a paisley design. Since cowboys wore bandanas with paisley designs, that's why I went with some paisley here. I was a little disappointed when I cut this out with my Cricut because it didn't actually cut anything out. Nothing was punched out. It was there, you could see it, but I had to rub ink over it so that the image would stand out. But it looks nice that way, and then you can write on the back. This page says, fill this page with random items. And I just zigzag stitched it around those edges. This edge is open, so if they want to paste something on, it can stick under there a little bit. This is from the Documented. And so it was white on the back, and I just glued on these leftover papers that I had. And this arrow again was made with the Fontopia Cricut, or cartridge. This tag says Imagine. This one has a tag on it, and then this little piece that says Don't Forget. And then another, well, these pages actually were in this book. And they were pictures, really beautiful pictures of some areas out west. This is Lake Powell near the Buffalo Basin Marina in Utah. Isn't that gorgeous? And this is Monument Valley, Utah. So I thought that was fun to include them. Here's another of the smaller pages from Stampin' Up, and I put the striped paper clip. This is from a book about horses, a children's book about horses. I got it from the library for 50 cents, and it was in pretty bad shape. Some of the pages were just ripped right in half. So there was a lot of it that I couldn't use, but I thought this page was cute with different types of horses. And then here is a map. The Great Indian Territory here, so that's appropriate for this book. Here's another of the smaller Stampin' Up pages. I cut this clock out with the Cricut. Another small page with a spiral clip. And then here's some more paisley. I cut these out with the Cricut and glued them together and then glued it down as a pocket. There's another tag that I made with the Fontopia cartridge. And this little journaling tag that says Antiques. This page has a grid on it, so it can be used for journaling if desired. It was white on the back, so I glued this piece to the back. Here's the page from the children's book about Comanches with some more paper stitched on. And there's an actual illustration from that book. And this page has lines. It looks like old notebook paper. And this is the page that I used the border and the corner on. And this is from the cartridge, the Cricut, and I stamped those little images and then glued these arrows on. Some more stamping on the back of that craft page. Made a pocket here and just put a journaling card in, and then this cute little cowboy I got from the internet and printed him off, and then I was coffee dyeing some tags and things, so I decided to coffee dye him, but it kind of washed out the image and kind of blurred it, but it's still cute, so I put it in here. It can be written on the back. And some more stamping on the back of that page. And then here's an envelope that I put in the back. I put some scraps on there and glued this tag on. And did some stamping on the back of the envelope. Put this Tim Holtz brad. These are the ones, well, I'll show you. I've got them right here. I bought them on clearance. They're these, I've got them all backwards here, but you buy the brads that are, they're plain, and they have these stickers you can stick on them, and then these epoxy things to put over the stickers, so you can make your own brads. So you can either use these stickers that Tim Holtz provides, or you can use a circle punch in the appropriate size. There's 2 different sizes, and punch out design paper and make your own brads. So that's what I did. It's a clock. And then here's another envelope cut from a paisley paper, and it was white on the back, so I lined it with that paper. So there's that book. So I did make 2 themed books this week. A fairy book and a cowboy book. Pretty different, but again, using up papers that I have. I had a lot of books made because I had been using up my paper stash, and I'd been showing the videos of those books, and people weren't buying them at the little shop, so I had quite a few books. And then all of a sudden I sold 5 at the shop, and then I gave 4 away to 3 nieces and a sister. So I needed to start making some more books. So here they are, and I'll be making more, and I'll be back with another video. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment, and I'll be back soon. Thanks. Bye.